What's up, everyone? My name is Brian. I want to become a physician assistant, and I'm going to be taking over today. Yee! So I just got done working, doing 3 12-hour night shifts. So I'm pretty tired right now. So I'm going to take a shower, take a nap, and then answer more questions. So a little bit about me. I was originally born in Burma, and right after I graduated high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. But I always knew that I wanted to work in the medical field, so I just started working as a CNA, PCA at a local hospital. So I started working on a medical surgical floor for about a year, and then I transferred to ER as an ER tech, and then I transferred to trauma ICU, and now I'm back in the ER. Yee. So while I was working, I went to school as well. I went to Polk State College for 2 years, then transferred to University of South Florida, where I recently just graduated in May. So I think during my sophomore year, I shadowed a PA, orthopedic surgeon, PA, and I fell in love with the profession. So of course, during my undergrad, I was deciding on whether if I should take a gap year or not, but I'll talk a little bit about that later. But I did. So right after I graduated from USF, which was this past May again, I immediately started applying to PA schools. I applied to 13 PA schools. So I applied to 13 schools, got 10 interview invitation and 2 rejection and 1 still unresponded. So out of the 10 interview invitation, I only went to 3 of them. I went to Southern Illinois University, DeSales University, and recently University of Florida. And so I got accepted to all 3 of them. And of course, I'm going to go to University of Florida. Woo! Go Gators! So I did a lot of things during my undergrad to be well-rounded and to be diverse, which is very, very important, which I'll talk about that later. So again, I worked at the hospital as a PCA or ER tech. I tutored anatomy and physiology, and I was also a substitute teacher. So I volunteer with the people that are developmentally delayed, and I also was a medical assistant at a local clinic, and I was also a mentor. So on a side note, I know this is kind of random, but I am also a hip-hop dancer. Like I used to perform and I used to do battles and stuff, so you might see me dance later. So to connect all of this with my interest in hip-hop dancing and with my knowledge in ASL, I use my skills to teach the people with disabilities how to dance and sign. So I'm finally about to go take a shower, but before I go, I'm going to give you 5 main things that I believe that PA schools look at to see who to invite for an interview. So this is not in any particular order, but GPA, patient care experience hours, well-roundedness, uniqueness, and personal statement. So I will elaborate more on it later, individually, each one of them. But yeah, those 5 things are really important. Also, I will give you guys tips on the interview process because I went through them recently. So stay tuned. So there you go. That's my little intro. But I'm finally going to take a shower, go to sleep. And again, I'm really excited to do this. So please send me all the questions, okay? What up, guys? I'm finally awake, and I'm at Starbucks. I'm waiting for a friend who's going to come and help me answer some questions as well, give you some tips. So a lot of people have been asking me, how did I do it? How did I maintain a 4.0 GPA and work 3 jobs and volunteering all at the same time? So as far as job goes, I worked part-time for all 3 of them. And for volunteering, I only volunteered for like a few hours a week. As far as school goes, I was a full-time student, but I just study whenever I can and wherever I can. So as far as school goes, I went to school full-time, and I managed my time really well, and I knew my priorities, and I studied pretty much every day. So my friend, he's finally here. We're gonna go somewhere else because it's kind of loud outside, but yeah, he's gonna introduce himself.
Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing great. My name is Gene. I'm a student at USF this year. My major is biological health science with a minor in public health. I'm from Haiti. I applied to 3 schools because I applied late in the cycle, and I'm just waiting on them to respond.
So I got my certification first as a CNA, and then I did a 3-day course, and I challenged the boards, and then I became certified as a CNA. So of course, like everyone, when I became certified, I had no experience, but I knew a nurse that works here at the hospital, and she basically hooked me up. So connections is important.
So my story is very different. I got a job here, actually at the hospital, as a transporter. So I did 6 months transporter. After that, I decided to become a CNA. I went to a local class that did like a 3-day training. Most of them had 3-day or whole week, but I did 3-day, and after that, study and take the exam. Just like Brian said, connection is very important because I was able to transfer to the ER because of connection that I've developed working in a hospital.
So yeah, as you can see, for him, he started as a transporter where you don't require anything except, CPR certification, but you can start something low and then So as far as being certified or not, some hospital do require you to be certified, some hospital don't, so check with your local hospital. So if you want to get certified as a CNA, you can go on YouTube and type in CNA training videos, or you can go on this website. Alright, so the reason why I chose PA over MD is because I like the family life and work balance, and I like the teamwork aspect and also the lateral mobility. Other reasons why I chose PA over MD is because it's shorter, less depth, no residency or internship, and you have less liability and responsibility. So the difference between PA and MD is that NP is trained under a nursing model, which is patient-centered, and then PAs are trained under a medical model. So nurse practitioners are educated under a specific specialty that they choose to go to, and PAs they're trained as a generalized.
One major difference is PA can get a bachelor's degree in anything, while MP have to get a degree in nursing. After that, go to get a master.
Which leads to the question of what to major in your undergrad. One really good thing about PA over NP is that you can major in anything you want. You can major in nursing, you can major in psychology, sociology, health science, exercise science, music. So I've met PA students and PA applicants that have a major in music, dance, history, dietitian. I mean, that's pretty different.
So as long as you take the prereqs such as Chem 1, Chem 2, Anatomy 1, Anatomy 2, Ogle 1, Bio 1, you should be fine.
So I actually believe if you major in something else other than a biology major or science major, it's actually beneficial to major in something different like sociology, because that will make you well-rounded and unique than the usual biology or chemistry major. Also, make sure you know that if you do major in something different like dance or something, you will have to take extra classes for your prereqs, whereas biology you can take all your prereqs at the same time. So remember the 5 things that I mentioned like way ahead before I went to take a shower and go to sleep? So I'm about to go through them individually, okay? So starting with GPA, as long as you have your GPA above 3.5, you'll be considered competitive. But if you're below 3.5, you got to make up other areas.
So for patient care experience, to be competitive, you need at least 2,000 hours, either in as a PCA, CNA, physical therapist assistant, medical assistant.
So even though some school might say they don't require patient care experience hours, it's probably your best interest to have some because some other applicants might have.
GPA is considered low and not competitive enough. I would consider that you make it up by completing a lot of patient care hours, at least 4,000. Uniqueness is everyone is unique in their own way. So I would suggest you find something that's unique about you and apply it to your volunteer.
So that goes back to majoring in something different. So, again, major in something like dance or music. If that's your interest, go ahead and major because that's going to make you even more unique than other people.
For example, Brian here, he's a dancer. So he applied that to his volunteering at an urban community, teaching hip-hop dancer to young kids. And that's very unique about it. I want to try to connect everything that you do with medicine so you can actually branch out there and do something else.
So the next topic is well-roundedness, and that kind of ties with uniqueness because, you have to do something different to be well-rounded. You have to be all around, not just medicine. So you want to build your resume and try to balance all your areas for your resume, not just have a high GPA and that's it. Try to have volunteering, shadowing, and everything. So the way PA schools invite for an interview is through screening. So if you have a certain GPA, they screen out, and if you are good, they keep it. And then they read their personal statement. Personal statement is very important because that's basically your ticket for an interview. You have a chance to explain yourself and try to sell yourself. So make sure you check your grammar and meet all the character limits. What I did was I basically told everybody to proofread it and put their little inputs. So after I told everyone to proofread it, I had to change a lot. So yeah, man, and don't be discouraged if somebody says it's not good. take their advice and try to fix it and apply it in your personal statement, but at the same time try to keep your DNA in that personal statement. So always have a theme in your personal statement. If your personal statement is based on like teamwork, make sure you have it from intro to conclusion, somehow tied. So back to patient care experience hours. It's important to do paid patient care experience hours, like working at a hospital or clinic, versus volunteer patient care experience hours. I had a friend that basically had like 3,000 patient care experience hours volunteering, and he applied to PA school and he only got to like 2-3 interviews. So after he began working at a hospital and get his paid patient care experience hours, he actually got like 6-7 interviews all around. So
Shadowing is very difficult to obtain, so the best way to obtain it actually is to try to get like a volunteer or work at a hospital.
if you don't work at a hospital, go online and search, physician assistant around in your area, and call their clinics and see if you can shadow them. Or if you have a primary care PA that you normally see, you can ask them too as well. But working at a hospital will be the easiest. So if you do work at the hospital, go up to a PA and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I want to become a physician assistant. I was wondering if I can shadow you for a day or so. And you only need a couple, so. So quickly about gap year. For me, I actually took a gap year. To me, it's the best decision I've ever made. I have traveled everywhere from Philly to Europe. So, it's important because, it's to refresh your memory and just to enjoy life a little bit before, you get old. To me, I just feel like, once you start PA school, you're not going to have no life. Once you finish PA school, you're not going to have that much life. And then maybe a couple of years later, I know some people say that, when you take a gap year, you don't want to go back to school after you take a gap year and stuff. I feel like if you have a true passion, it shouldn't be a problem.
One aspect you should do to add to your resume is join an organization around your university to try to get some leadership role, like either the PA club or any. So many different organizations at university. Just decide whatever interests you and join that the first year, become just a regular member. And next year, try to get a leadership position to enhance your application for PA. So I'm about to go back to work, so I want to leave a last word with y'all. If you really want to be a PA, just work every single day. Work hard with everything that you do, and try to stick to with your end goal that you want to become a PA. So every day you wake up, just grind. Don't get distracted. Stick to your goal at the end of the day. No matter what's going on, just keep focused on that dream that you want to become a PA.
So now let's talk about interviews. Again, I did 3 of them, so I kind of got the general idea of how it works. I haven't done group interviews, so I don't know how that works. So usually you go to the interview and you meet all the applicants that are interviewing that day, and try to be friendly to everyone because that might be your classmate at the end. Try to be friendly to everybody and get to know everybody because, again, it's a fun process. It can be nerve-wracking, but again, it's a fun process. Don't be nervous. Loosen up. So some schools have essay portion and group activity. The essay is pretty simple usually. It's not too hard. So with the essay portion, you'll have about 15 minutes or so to write it, depending on the school. And then, just answer the question. It's not too hard. And as far as group activity, try to be friendly. Try to work as a team to solve a certain activity or problem that you have. The main tip is to not try to outshine everyone and try to stand out. Just be friendly and just be nice to everyone and respect everybody's opinion. So actually try to, basically compliment your group members' opinion, saying that, that's interesting fact. I didn't think of that. That's really good. The PA school just want to see how well you work as a team and how good you work well with others. That's it. So don't try to outshine no one. So now let's actually talk about the interview itself. Okay, I did 3 interviews and it was all individual interviews. So here we go. Of course, first and foremost, the most generic answer, be yourself. But even though it's generic, it's really important. But I'm not going to just give you that and be done. So secondly, try to be personable. Try to be friendly to everyone, all the staff and all the faculty and all the applicants that are interviewing that day. Just try to be friendly and smile at everyone. Even during the interview, try to be personable. Smile at them even if the interviewer is tough on you, and not smile and have a serious face. Still smile. They will smile eventually. So case in point, one of the schools that I applied, the interviewer was very serious. She did not smile at all, but eventually, because I smile and crack jokes, she smiled eventually and give up. So number 3 might be a little crazy, but try to go off topic. Try to find ways to go off topic, because if you're staying on topic, that means it's bad. You try to control the direction of the conversation. So you talk about what you want to talk about, not what they want to talk about, which is interview questions. Because think about it, a lot of the interviewers are going to ask you the usual question, like why PA over MD? And with those questions, a lot of the applicants are going to answer nearly the same. So if a lot of the students answer the same way, it doesn't make you stand out. But if you go off topic and talk about cars, cats, or dogs, or dance, it will make you stand out. It will make you more memorable. They might be like, oh, you know what? That girl or guy that talked about dogs was pretty interesting. It was memorable. So for instance, at one of my interviews, I talked about the rapper Eminem and Tupac. So that makes me unique from the rest of the crowd. So yeah, crazy. Number 4, loosen up and relax. Again, a lot of people think that interviews are so serious and they're so quiet and have a serious face. Don't be. So for instance, one of my interviews, they asked me, oh, so you're a dancer? And I was like, yeah, do you want me to take off my suit and show you real quick? And they started laughing. So for my UF interview, I wore a UF tie, and the interview was like, oh, that's a nice tie, can I feel it? And so she felt the material, and I was like, you know what material is made out of? PA material. So number 5, try to research about the schools that you're going to be interviewing at. Try to research about their mission statement and everything. And based on what their mission statement is, try to incorporate your answers with their mission statement. For instance, if their mission statement is to serve the underserved community, you can say something like, yes, I want to go to this school because it values the underserved community and I have a huge interest in it. So number 6, I would say to study your application and study yourself, because they might ask you a question about what you did. So go back and read your patient care experience, volunteering experience, and personal statement, because they might pull something out of it and ask you something specific. So number 7, research who is going to be interviewing you. Go to their website, the school's website, and try to see all the faculty and know a little bit about them. So number 8, this is a pretty cool tip. Have about 5 stories that you can talk about just like that. Okay, have 5 stories ready in your head. So for me, one of my story was how a patient slapped me in the face while I was a CNA, and how I didn't get mad, and that's how I knew I was in the right field. And number 9, don't wait for them to ask you questions. You can ask them questions too, or make comments. So for me, at one of my interviews, the interview was going through my resume and my application. It got very quiet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a conversation. So I was like, so I know this is kind of random, but you really have nice veins. I can easily start an IV on you just like that. And she started laughing. So that led to another 5 minutes of her talking about how she was doing a rotation and somebody noticed that she had a nice veins as well. And we went off topic again. And last but not least, come prepared with some questions, some type of questions. Because again, as much as they're interviewing you, you should be interviewing them too. To sum it all up, the purpose of an interview is to see how well you interact and communicate with another human being. So just be friendly and be personable. Oh, and I almost forgot. Try to have reasons why you have a low GPA or a low GRE score, or why you have a C in that certain class. So trust me, they will ask you. So try not to make excuses and try to have a good reason why you did poorly or badly. So I have a list of questions that I compiled from different websites. So if you want to leave me your email, I will send you guys the questions. So I really hope you guys are finding this really helpful. But I'm about to go somewhere, so send me all the questions that you have, okay? So guys, I got about an hour left, so please send me last minute questions because I am ready to answer them. So to answer this question, to me, I feel like the tuition cost was very, very, very important to me because I don't want to I don't want to be in debt when I come out of PA school. Another thing that I consider is the teaching style. So some schools do problem-based learning, some schools, the lecture and team-based learning. So also for me, I wanted to stay in state. So, of course, the tuition cost, but also I wanted to stay close to home, to my parents and all my friends I have at home. So, yeah. So other things to consider is the school's mission statement. See if it fits with you and what your passion is, and also attrition rate and first-time pants passing. So when you go to these orientation or interviews, you'll see they'll usually do a school tour and give you a presentation about their program, and you'll see if you like it or not. Some people might be wondering how many schools to apply. I would say around 7 to 10 is usually a good number. Also, for an interview, make sure you know the history of PA. Last week was PA week, so if you were interviewing last week, you could have brought it up. But yeah, Eugene Stead. So some schools might have non-generic questions, such as, if you had a theme song, what would it be? Or if you had 3 people that you can have dinner with, dead or alive, who would it be? So with those questions, they're not expecting a great answer from you. They just want to see how you react to those, unexpected questions. So just give them the answer and just be appropriate. So when you're getting your patient care experience hours, whether it be EMT or PCA, try to ask the nurses and pick their brains and see why they do what they do with the patient. So for instance, for what I do as an ER tech, we take patients' vital sign and we take them back to their room. So when I'm taking patients back to the room, I try to get their history and then I'll write it on a piece of paper, and then I'll follow up with the nurse a couple of hours later and ask her what the doctor ordered and what did they find out and what the final diagnosis was. So yeah. So just by doing that, I learned a lot as an ER tech, and I see what the doctors do and what the doctors order and what they prescribe. So yeah. So I'm about to post a couple of websites that I use personally that have helped me. So yeah, check those websites out because it's gonna help you a lot. So check out these YouTube channels that I'm about to post. They were all helpful. They helped me a lot. So yeah, make sure you check them out. So I'm about to log out very soon, but I just want to give a big shout out and big thanks to Andrea, Life as a PA. You have helped me with this channel, and I hope I have helped everyone that is watching. And thanks to everyone that asked me great questions, and I really hope I helped you guys because this is all I wanted to do. So feel free to ask me any questions because I love helping people, especially people that are on the same path as me. So yeah, ask me any questions on my social media. Alright guys, I'm officially signing out. Good luck to everyone, and thank you to everybody. Again, if you guys have any questions, please follow me and ask me. I am more than happy to help you guys.